So I've always told you about the petrodollar. That's what really runs our foreign policy, and that's why we do what Saudi Arabia wants when we go bomb people like in Yemen and stuff like that. And also, so guess what? So they're gonna get the petrodollar once we went off the gold standard. So Nixon takes us off the gold standard. So now what do we got to back up our money? We get a deal with Saudi Arabia that Saudi Arabia will make anybody who tries to buy oil from them, they would have to use American dollars to buy oil from them. And why would Saudi Arabia agree to that? Because we then promised Saudi Arabia to use our military anywhere they wanted. And that's why we're helping commit a genocide in Yemen.
And they can chop up anyone who annoys the head guy.
That's right.
With impunity.
Right. So the head guy chopped up that Jamal Khashoggi, the Washington Post reporter, and we looked the other way. That's something they say Putin does, like Hitler. But no, the guy we're in bed with, the head of Saudi Arabia right now, the prince, he did that. We don't care. So guess what's happening now? So Joe Biden is so poorly mismanaging this situation that he might collapse the dollar and our economy forever. And that's not hyperbole because it's based on the petrodollar. So you should start buying Bitcoin and gold. But what do I know? Nothing. China is days away from killing the petrodollar. This is from the International Man. For decades, the U.S. has been able to exclude virtually any country it wants from international trade. Right now, if one country wants to trade with another, it basically needs U.S. permission first. That's because, for a short while longer, the United States dollar is the world's most important currency. The United States Navy also dominates the world's oceans, controlling most major shipping lanes. But China is building a new international system. Eventually, it will let China and its trading partners totally bypass the United States. Most investors know that oil is the largest and most strategic commodity market in the world. It dwarfs all the other major commodities markets combined. Every country needs oil, and for a short while longer, they need U.S. dollars to buy it. That's a very compelling reason to hold large dollar reserves. So if you want to buy oil, you got to go get a shit ton of American dollars. And so they're saying that lots of countries keep American dollars at reserve, and this props up the American dollar. This is the essence of the petrodollar system, which has underpinned the U.S. dollar since the early 1970s. Right now, if Italy wants to buy oil from Kuwait, it has to purchase U.S. dollars on the foreign exchange market to pay for the oil first. This creates a huge artificial market for U.S. dollars. In part, this is what separates the United States dollar from the purely local currency, like the Mexican peso. The dollar is just a middleman, but it's used in countless transactions amounting to trillions of dollars that have nothing to do with the United States products or services.
Jesus Christ. Even our money is a consultant.
Yeah, right?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Since the oil market is so enormous, it acts as a benchmark for international trade. If foreign countries are already using dollars for oil, it's just easier to use dollars for other international trade too. So you get that. So they have to go get beefed up on American dollars so they can buy oil. So they just start using that for everything. In addition to nearly all oil sales, the United States dollar is used for about 80% of all international transactions. The United States dollar is used for 80% of all international transactions. That's good for us. It's soon coming to an end, which will be catastrophic for us. This gives the United States unmatched geopolitical leverage. The United States can sanction or exclude virtually any country from the U.S. dollar-based financial system at the flip of a switch. By extension, it can also cut off any country from the vast majority of international trade. The petrodollar system is why people and businesses everywhere in the world take United States dollars. Other countries have had little choice about it until now. The death of the petrodollar, Pepe Escobar, the ultimate game changer, and it came much sooner than we all thought. Saudi Arabia is considering, are you ready for this, accepting yen. Is that how you say it?
No, yuan.
Yuan, you say it yuan?
Yeah, I think it's yuan, yeah.
Yuan and not U.S. dollars. See what the pronunciation is on that.
Yuan.
And not U.S. dollars for selling oil to China. Translation, China told them this is the new groove. Fasten your seatbelts. Here's from the Wall Street Journal. Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. Do we know what the pronunciation is on that?
Like it's you.
I think it's
Hold
yuan.
on.
Hey, Siri, what is the currency in China?
The renminbi is the currency of People's Republic of China.
The what? The renminbi? That's not helpful.
That's a cop out, Siri.
That's not helpful.
Yuan, I hear. Somebody just told me yuan, and I'm trying to hear it online too. Yuan.
Yuan.
Falcon.
You pronounce it yuan. So Saudi Arabia considers accepting yuan instead of dollars for Chinese oil sales. That is what's known as a bombshell.
Well, we all better learn how to pronounce that, I guess, huh?
Yes, I guess we're all better learn how to pronounce.
We're saying no dollars, only yuan, please.
And here is Pepe Escobar says that China will buy Saudi oil in yuan, and this will accelerate the death of the petrodollar.
Oh my God.
International correspondent Pepe Escobar reports that China should start buying oil from Saudi Arabia in yuan, not dollars, which should hasten the death of the petrodollar, the standard used in the global energy market. The final cutoff, he said, it arrived much earlier than we all thought. The Kazakh newspaper Capital reported that the Eurasian Economic Union, formed by Belarus, Kazakhstan, Russia, and China, will develop a project for an independent international monetary and financial system. This is not good for the United States. If Trump was letting this happen, people would be screaming. But Joe Biden is doing it, and nobody's saying anything. March 11th, what do you want to say, Kurt?
It's so crazy now. They're saying shit like Trump wouldn't have let this happen. Like Trump hater people.
Oh! I'll show you a video of the guy who hosts the Daily Show. What's his
Trevor,
name?
yeah, Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wild.
That
yeah.
is wild, actually. On March 11th, the economic dialogue took place, revealing a new phase of monetary, financial, and economic cooperation between the Eurasian Economic Union and the People's Republic of China. Global transformation, challenges, and solutions. The strengthening of economic relations comes amid the escalating international attack by the United States and European countries against the European Union countries and China. The current war in Ukraine has increased the international boycott of Russia. Likewise, this action is taking place at a time when the international financial system is going through one of its worst moments. The announced project will allow greater independence of the Russian-Chinese bloc and cooperation in the field of development. It is assumed that the new system will be based on a new international currency. Which will be calculated as an indicator of the national currencies of the participating countries and commodity prices. I don't know what any of that means. The first draft will be up for discussion by the end of March, according to Capital. So they're making their own currency. Here is Business Insider. Saudi Crown Prince snubbed Biden's request to discuss the oil crisis brought about by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So it seems like it's all over for us in the petrodollar, and our economy might just go into a tailspin and never recover.
Look at their pictures. It looks like MBS is like, yeah, that's right, Jimmy. And Joe Biden's going, no.
You want to see? We showed you this before. Here is the prince from Saudi Arabia and Putin. Look how happy they are. They high-five each other. Those guys are pals.
Wonder what they're high-fiving over.
They're all smiles and shits and giggles.
Look at that. Like they just
Look at
made a
that.
new currency.
Like they just made a new currency.
Wow.
Saudi invites China's President Xi as relations with Washington remain soured. Is that how you pronounce his name? Xi?
It's Xi.
Xi?
Xi. Yeah, like Zha Zha.
Like Zha Xi.
Xi. Yeah.
Saudi invites China's President Xi as relations with Washington remain soured. It looks like we fucked up. It looks like it's all over, and it looks like Joe Biden and NATO did this.
It's like they're saying, no, you're canceled.
Can you believe that Wall Street would let this happen? Like this, I need somebody.
Jimmy, I was gonna say like that makes me like extra afraid there's gonna be World War III because I'm
That's
like,
right.
well, what would they do to prevent this?
Right, World
That's
War
the only
III.
answer I got.
So this is, this is not good. This is going to be bad for us economically. And this was the big idea of Joe Biden and the Democrats to do all this. Did no one see this coming? I just can't believe they didn't see. You really think you could do this to Russia and China and they wouldn't sit there and make their own currency?
I think the people that are supposed, that see this coming, they made all kinds of plans that had nothing to do with this. And then the people that should have been making plans were just getting paid off. So they didn't bother worrying about it. And then there's going to be a war. That's what I think.
Well, there you go. And you never even knew about the petrodollar because they never talk about it on the news.
Not until I started watching the show did I ever hear of it.
Yeah.
Even in passing. Never
Even
heard
in
of it.
passing, you never heard of the petrodollar.
It seems strange because it seems really important.
Seems really important. I remember I had on that guy from Andrew Johnson, and he writes for Fair or whatever. I had him on, and I brought it up, and he looked at me like a Martian just shit me out of an egg. He was like, "Why would you even think about that?" I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's because
that's
the
like vague
basis.
corporate.
It's like the basis for everything that happens in the world. I don't know.
You mean vague corporate reasons, Jimmy?
We're doing our live stand-up tour. We're going to Houston. We're going to Dallas. We're going to Los Angeles, Orlando, Tampa, Columbus, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, and more. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets and become a premium member. You get all our bonus stuff.